This meeting is being recorded.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Community CPA's 3 p.m. webinar. Today is Thursday, so it is our special guest day. We always invite a guest speaker to come speak on business topics that we hope are really helpful and useful for your business. So today we have invited Kevin Pham from Boersma Insurance Services, and he is going to be talking about workers' comp. So before I start in on that, as you all know, Community CPA is a full service accounting firm. We do taxes, business accounting services, such as bookkeeping, payroll, business consultation, and legal services. So of course, please consider us as you are doing business. And we, of course, specialize with lots of small businesses and lots of minority-owned businesses as well. So yes, as I mentioned today, we are going to be talking about workers' comp. So Kevin is an independent insurance agent for Boersma. And Kevin, can you introduce yourself and tell everybody what you specialize in?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin from Boersma Insurance Services. I work downtown. We're an independent agency with multiple carriers that we work with. Our main carriers that we work with would be IMT, Selective, Auto Owners, Progressive. We like to shop around for our clients to see what the best fit for them is. I currently specialize in home, auto, and commercial insurance, but we do have agents in here that specialize in life and health as well.
Sorry, I was muted. Perfect. So I know that, you know, as business owners are employing people, workman's comp insurance is an important part of doing business. So can you tell us a bit about what workman's comp is? And what
so workers' comp. Yep. Sorry. Yeah. So workers' comp is a type of business insurance that protects employers and their business from financial loss when employee gets injured or sick from a work-related cause. It can also provide long-term disability benefits if an employee can't return to their old role or they can't return to work at all.
Awesome. So generally, can you go over in detail what it does cover and also what it doesn't cover?
Yeah. So what it does cover, it helps cover medical expenses, lost wages, ongoing treatment, as well as funeral expenses. Some examples will be like an employee, they trip on the stairs at the office, or let's say an employee is driving out to a client and they get in a car accident. So that would be covered as well. And then it also covers from natural disasters and acts of violence and terrorism.
Okay, awesome.
And what it doesn't cover is if an employee intentionally starts a fight or they're intoxicated, or any emotional injuries that's in the physical workplace trauma. It will also not cover if the employer is discriminating against an employee or just wrongful termination or just from his gross negligence.
Okay, excellent. That is helpful. Can you give us some other scenarios of workers' comp and when a claim can be made?
What do you mean?
So you mentioned a few examples, like if somebody trips or they get into a car accident on the way to work.
So yeah, so like when I said earlier, let's say an employee just comes into the workplace and they start a fight with another employee. So I mean that wouldn't be covered, as well as if they're just coming intoxicated, and if they get hurt on the job while they're intoxicated, that also wouldn't be covered.
Okay. All right. So who is required to carry it? Like, are all businesses required?
Yeah, so in Iowa law workers' compensation, all employers are required to carry workers' compensation that have one employee at least. Some exemptions will be like a sole proprietor, or they have like an employee that works for them, but they're not working for business purposes. Does that make sense?
Okay. So what about if it's just a part-time employee, or does it have to be a full-time employee?
Part-time employees would not qualify. It'll only apply towards full-time employees. And also, I want to say if an employee only makes about 1,500 annually, less than that, they also be exempted.
Okay, but generally they would. So not contractors or 1099,
No.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so you kind of talked a bit about this, but one question is, how does it protect your business?
Well, first, it covers employers from the work-related injuries or illnesses that occur, and it helps lower the possibility of an employee bringing a lawsuit upon the employer as well. And the most important thing I would say is it keeps your business up to state law regulations as well. You have to be compliant with the state laws.
Okay. Then of course, like kind of related to that, if a business needs to carry it, and they know how it protects the business, what is the premium for this insurance, and how is this calculated?
So there's a couple of factors that determine the rate, and mostly it's payroll, the type of industry they do, and the work that the employees do, and then of course their claims history. Typically, let's say like a roofing business is going to be like a more dangerous risk. So that's going to be a little higher in premium, whereas like a grocery store or a restaurant, it's going to be less. Um, you also want to make sure those numbers that you tell us that are pretty accurate, because you do get audited at the end of the year by the insurance company, and that can determine, say like your payroll you say was first 200,000 and you actually made 400,000 that year, your premium can possibly go up just because that wasn't accurate.
Right. So if it changes like throughout the year, like you have one employee and then you onboard,
Yep.
5 different ones throughout the year, is it just a matter of just updating you for a new rate, or how does that work?
They'll just give you to the best of your knowledge. They'll just work with you with her that.
Okay.
They're pretty lenient, yeah.
Okay. And then in terms of like, so obviously the payroll and then the risk, are those the 2 main factors for calculating?
Yeah. For restaurants, mostly it's the gross annual sales for the restaurant that mostly determines that premium.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so the claims process, right? Paperwork, I'm sure nobody likes that, but
Yeah.
how does this workers' comp claim process work if there is an injury or something happens?
Yeah, so when an employee gets injured, they have 90 days to let their employer know from the date that happened. And then from there, the employer or the insurance company has 4 days to electronically file a claim for it. And then after that, your injured or sick employee gets the benefits.
Okay, so that normally comes as a check or a reimbursement?
That usually comes as a reimbursement. Yep.
Okay, awesome. And then what is an experience modifier?
So experience modifier is like a number that insurance companies translate. So typically the average experience modifier is 1.0, and it's based off the amount of claims lost the business have. So let's say let's say a company with less claims, they're gonna have a modifier of less than 1.1. So that means it's gonna be good. They're gonna have less than a premium, and it also means they have a safe workplace environment. Whereas a company that has a higher modifier of 1.0, that means they have more claims loss history than the average business. So they're going to have to pay more premium for the same amount of coverage.
Okay. And how long does that last? How often is that calculated, I guess?
That is calculated after 3 years while you're in business, 3 years after you're in business, sorry. And it follows the business owner around like a credit score. So it's also important. Experience modifier is important.
Awesome.
I would recommend businesses with a workplace safety program in place. It helps reduce those injuries.
Yeah, great. Is there anything else that somebody who's interested in workers' comp, what are the common questions that are otherwise asked of you, or things that a business owner should know about insurance workers' comp or other types of business-related insurance?
I would say workers' comp is one of the most important business insurance, just because we know all business and owners have employees, and we want to protect your employees at any cost, because we don't want that one unfortunate event where you can't pay for their injuries or expenses. It can get ugly from there. But then I also want to include business owner policies as well and general liability. And I'm not going to dig into too much of that for now, but that's just business owner policies if they own that building that attaches to that workers' comp. So, and then general liability is if you're renting out that building. So they protect your business from any claims arising from bodily injury or they get sick from your products.
Okay.
But we'll dig in a little that later.
Yeah, no worries. I think people would be interested to hear if you had more to share. But otherwise, what are the best ways that somebody can reach out to you to kind of discuss the different scenarios and get your help?
We do have a website. I do encourage people to check out our website. We do have all of our contact information on there. And it also provides all the different types of business insurance we offer. And it gives you all my contact information. You can reach me. But we do have a commercial checklist too. So if we have anybody's interested, there is checklists on the website we can fill out, and then you can select the type of agent, and then we can assist you with it. And I would say at our agency, we excel really well in business insurance. My agency owner has been doing it for about 16 years, so he's really experienced in that. And then my colleague Jaime, he also excels in commercial. I'm just getting my feet wet in commercials, so I'm a little less experienced with them, but I always have them both to assist me in it. So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, if anybody has questions for Kevin, please feel free to pop it in the chat and we can go over those. Otherwise, thank you, Kevin, for being here with us today. Yep. Are there any other things that you want to add before we conclude this webinar?
I would say just if you own a business, just give us a shot. We have the carriers to be competitive in the market for it.
Wonderful.
We do really well with restaurants and grocery stores. I encourage you to just give us a shot.
Okay, wonderful. So if they already have workers' comp insurance, would it just be a quote against what you are offering?
Yeah, so we'll just ask them if we can get a copy of that current declaration page so we can match up the coverages and see how much they're paying. And if it's competitive, then we'll try switching them over. But if not, we're not going to waste your time. Yeah. But we're the agency that we want to go over every single coverage with the client, make sure they know what they're paying for, even if they don't buy from us. It's only the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you, Kevin. I really appreciate your time and for sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Catherine.
Yep, take care.
Yeah.